What's up, YouTube? What is Metalhead Prime doing today? What is going... Why is the facade off of the 165? I don't know, but what are these things? Why are there two 10-gallon aquariums here with a bunch of goofy stuff in it? I don't know. Guess you'll just have to stay tuned and find out. Okay guys, so here's the 165 and the camera hogs. They're split over there. Anyways, so right under here, this is a homemade stand, which I'm gonna home make another one very soon because this one irritates the crap out of me. Anyways, I have a 36 by I believe 24-inch deep hole in here that did have a shelf in it. That's where I was storing all my little like air tubes and pieces and stuff like that, which was handy for that. But we're gonna repurpose it with what I'm about to show you that we're gonna build. And I'm gonna have to give John at KG Tropicals the credit for this one because it's gonna look kind of similar but with a metalhead twist ish. Alright. What's up, YouTube? Metalhead Prime here again on a weekend edition video. That was just going to be one long video, but it quickly became a two-parter. Thanks to a tool making company that is not exactly from this side of the world. It's off in a little land called Germany. Their name starts with a B. There's a few other letters after it. Yeah, their tools are fantastic. Anyways, what I'm going to show you tonight is the aspect of why I'm even doing this. If you look behind me, I have this, small little tank. My FX6 is having just a wee bit of trouble keeping up with it because it's tall, I think. That and, I have poop machines in here, serious poop machines. Anyways, what I'm going to do is create a couple of sump filtration systems for it that I'm going to kind of tie together into one just to basically pull some of the top water as well as the bottom. I've got the bottom covered with the FX6. It's a good filter, but it just needs help. So basically how I'm going to do this is caveman style. We're going to build another one of these. I'll turn it around this way so that label on it isn't there. We're going to build one of these. It's super caveman style, and you really can't mess it up. Believe me, because if you could, I could do it. So there you have it. And all you're going to need is, obviously, one 10-gallon tank, or two, or more. I do have room back here. I can actually put 3 in here, but I'm going to try 2 and see how it goes. It might be okay with just the 2, because I do also have a Shark 800 in there that helps push the water. It does filtrate a little bit, but it's only meant for a 50-gallon tank. 52, I think. This is a little bit more than 52. So anyways, what I've got here is, I don't know, 1 or 2 pounds of bio balls. I have a media screen that I'm going to use for, what do they call that, the separator, the divider. It's okay, it'll work. I've seen this in other people's videos. I'm also going to use a sump pump, or submersible pump. that this one is capable of pushing water 6 feet high. This isn't quite 6 feet yet. That's another video. Right now I would say, I don't know, maybe 3.5, 4 foot. So that will be plenty good enough to push from under my stand here, well, in my stand, up the back, through the river, and off to Grandma's house we go. Also, what you're going to need is egg crates or light diffusers. Now, if you go to certain big chain hardware stores, whatever you want to call them, let's just say, you know, a place that starts with L and ends with Lowe's or Menards, or I'm just going to say it because I'm not that big. So I went to Menards and got those. They didn't run that much. But don't go in the lighting section and ask the 15 or 16-year-old kid where the light diffusers are, because he's not going to know, and it's not his fault. What you need to do is go to ceiling tiles, which makes sense because, you know, those are meant to go in the ceiling. But what us fish people can do is actually trim them down. I'm not going to rip that one apart to show you because that's what this is for. But you can trim them down to anywhere you want. And to do this, all you need is your handy dandy measuring tape, a pair of side dikes, that's what they're called, magic marker or something that writes, and your fresh can of not beer. And I've already pre-cut this one just because this one takes the most time, because on these sumps you got to run a sock filter. You'll see why when I get going at this one, why I've already trimmed it out. Okay, so I think we're ready to get started here. So I'm just going to get that out of the way for now, just to make this a little bearable. And we're going to move you. I don't need you yet at all. Now, some people actually do run submersible heaters in that. I might do that, but that's down the road, because I have two 300 watt filters in there, and I have two 300 watt thermometers in there. I have two 300 watt heaters. Man, that was a lot of work. And this is only can number 2 of Not Pop. Anyways, I've got two 300 watt heaters in there that do a really good job of maintaining the temperature. I'm going to see how it goes once it's also drawing water from those two units. If I feel it's necessary, it's not that hard. I can easily slide those out, because theoretically in my head, which that could be the downfall of this, the water level should only be up to maybe about here, this area somewhere. Now if the power goes out, and that'll be in the second part of the video, I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to make sure that you don't dump 165 gallons of water on your floor. Because this floor has already had 75 gallons on it, which is why it's torn up, because it's eventually coming back out again. That's another video. Anyways, there's all sorts of devices you can buy to, I don't know, auto stop, whatever you want to call it, break the siphon. But there's a real easy way to do it, and I'll show you that. That's for episode 2. Anyways, what we'll do here, now I've already pre-marked everything, so I really had these out here for no reason other than I just wanted to talk about them. So I'm going to flip this around. You can already see I've messed up a couple times. That's why you always buy 2. Alright, so now these two pieces right here, what I'm cutting right here, is what's going to support this filter. This is a very stiff filter, but once it starts getting water in it, it's going to soften up. So these pieces, I mean, they're just meant for more or less support. But sometimes you just need to be held. It's a thing. Anyway, so we're going to get our side dikes, and I love saying that. And we're just going to make a few sniffy poos here. So now's the time if you need to go to the bathroom or go get some more wobble pop. See what I did there? Now's a good time to do it. Keep in mind, I am not a master of editing yet, so if I can figure out fast forward, I will. Now these, you always want to try to give yourself a little more than you need. I gotta see what I did here. Ah, I see what I did. You want to give yourself a little bit more when you're snipping these than you actually need. You'll see why when I go to fit these, because sometimes they can be tight. So what you do at that point is you do incremental snips, and then you'll get it to where it'll actually hold itself in there. You can use like a hot glue gun. You can even silicone them, but if you silicone it, you want to let it sit about 48 hours because there is chemicals in the silicone you don't want going in your tank. That's not good. I'm not going to glue anything because that's just how I roll. And it's literally that easy. And there we go. I've got one break wall there. That's what I'm going to call it, break wall. I don't know why it just sounded good. And yes, I do have YouTube on the TV in the background. It was playing OFR. Now it's playing Script Garage, which is another funny channel you need to watch. Very good. Gotta show my OFR guys some respect though. I tried to just get it to play all OFR, but that didn't work. Imagine that. Bam. Okay, now we can do something else with this one. Now, another thing that these make, really, really good dividers. Tank dividers, like, you know, if you've got more than one flower horn, if you're trying to breed them, you got your male and your female, one over here, one over there. Snip it out to the size of your tank, drop that puppy in there. Keeps them away from each other, and it does work. Ask me how I know. So for now, we're just going to set that over there. These are what happens when you measure once and cut twice. Just saying. Alright, so now we've got our, what do I call them? Breakwater boards? Whatever. I don't know. Now we're going to bring our filter back up here. I love calling an aquarium a filter. It's just funny to me. So, what I'm going to do at this point, okay, get that out. Yeah, for now we're just going to throw it right here. Because why not? Screw it. Anyways, now what I noticed was easier when I did the first one. These are kind of oblong. The filter, or whatever you use for your divider, because you can use any kind of sponge you want. You can even glue a piece of Lexan or plastic in there if you really want. I'm using filters because to me it's just more of a ground for beneficial bacteria. So if you'll notice, we're only about 3/4 of the way up the tank. And again, the reason being behind this is it doesn't need to go all the way to the top. Basically because these tanks, unless they have a power failure, and hopefully I've measured my gallons right at the top with the difference, that'll be in tomorrow's video. There's going to be a stopping point that breaks the siphon. It shouldn't fill these tanks up. And it shouldn't dump all over my floor. Anyways, so really, theoretically, the water level should only be about here constantly, and then if the power goes out, it should only maybe climb up to here, which is fine, because once the power comes back on, everything's going to go back down. Then, we take our little brake boards, or whatever you want to call them. Now, if you notice, right here, this is why I say cut them long. So you give yourself a little extra to work with. So I'm just going to make slow nips. Probably take about 1/8 of an inch off at a time here. Hopefully not my thumb. And I'm probably going to have these in my flower horn tank, which I already have one, I can see it. Because I have covers on the back of that. Oh, no I don't. I thought I did. Oops. Oh, there's how that got in there. I'm just gonna way down the line. If you mess up on one or two, it's fine. Maybe. Oh yeah. So I suggest everybody does this in their dining room. So you just have these little plastic things laying everywhere that you have to sweep up. I totally suggest that. It's fun. Now we need a little. You know what? I'm actually going to run with that. I'm afraid if I go a little too far, then I'll have to cut another piece out and do that. I'm lazy. Alright. Probably should have took that off before, but yeah, it's okay. Good for TV. Gonna have to do a little bit off of this one too, which is fine. Gives me more stuff to sweep up here when the video's done. You know, some people use scissors to cut these. You can. I like these 6-inch diagonal cutters, or side dikes. I did it again. Just because they give your palm enough leverage in your hand. I mean, you saw how quick this is going. Some of you may have said, I've already done that. Show me something good. I haven't done it yet. Cut me some slack. Oh, that one was even better than the first one. See? It pays to pay attention sometimes. Now, we're not going to worry about that piece. Then we're going to take our bag of balls, and they're blue. Open them up, dump them in there. And again, that's going to give the beneficial bacteria a lot of good breeding ground, or breeding surface area, whatever you want to call it. This is going to give them a lot of surface area. I'm not looking for these filters to completely take over the FX6's job. These are just here to help. Because sometimes even the best needs help. Ask me how I know. Alright, now we're going to make our sock bracket. And I have already gone through the 1.5-hour process of making a few of these and messing up a few times. And I'm surprised I still had that much egg carton to work with. But if you notice, there's a lip in these tanks, which you all know. It doesn't matter if it's tight, snug, whatever. As long as it holds the sock is all you want it to do. They do make brackets, and Amazon does sell them that you can put on here. But if you do that, you have to nip a little bit of this lip out, and you can do it with that. These egg cartons come in 4-foot sections. You've got plenty to work with. So we're just going to start making a few cuts around here. And again, you don't have to be spot on, but it helps. Corner. There. Okay. If you go a little too far, you're okay, because this is a 4-inch ring. Let me just pull it out of the bag for you. Who made these? Okay. So, on the edge of that, there is a bit of a lip. So, if you, right about in here, there's a lip and it goes all the way around. So, if you get a little carried away on your snippy snips, it's okay. This doesn't have to be perfect. For me, nobody's ever going to see it unless I open the door. Oh, or they watch this video. Didn't think that one out, did I? Oops. I don't know, sometimes you can hear how quick these things are snipping. I don't know if you'd want to use scissors for that. Unless you have like those weird scissors that came out in 1992 that can cut pennies. Those were fun to play with. Unless you get into somebody's penny collection, and those were a thing back then. Then it's not very funny to them. Ask me how I know this. I've just got in Grandpa's toolbox and found these. Not these exact ones. Alright. Bear with me, guys, we're getting there. Slowly and squirrely. Did something. Yeah, I'm just going to snip that one. There. And voila. Now, when you're cutting with these, if you cut straight down like I did, you tend to get half cuts or angled cuts. You can clean those up, or you can leave it alone. We're going to do the right thing and just leave it alone. Yeah, I ripped that off of somebody. It's okay. Got that one too. And for a first bit, yeah, maybe I need to nip a little bit off. Which I think I will over here. Right there too. Yeah, because, you know, you could just do that. But for the sake of entertainment, and when you're cutting these, always make sure you put them directly over your beverage. Alright, so you should have something resembling that. I don't know how well you can see that, but you know, whatever. And then you just, these are pretty thick nets or socks. But you still want to be gentle with them because, you know, over time, they're going to get brittle. This egg carton is super soft, but it will cut in if it needs to. Or wants to, I guess I should say. Alright, now, get in here. Whip out our handy dandy little submersible pump. And there is suction cups on this particular brand. And they always put the things you want at the bottom of the bag. Because, you know, why not? Now I'm using the suction cup. It does have a little feet that come with it. But we're going to use the suction cups because it might hold it a little better, give it some absorption, and I won't hear it rattling around. Because just listening to water alone drives me nuts. Which reminds me, I need to fill this tank up. And we're just going to go right here. Right there. So basically, my drip setup that I'm going to show you tomorrow is going to spill in here. And what's great about using the egg carton for this is all the holes. When this sock fills up, if it even fills up, if it even works, any excess water that might run out of that is just going to still pour right into the biobulbs and still run the process. So it'll give me a little bit. Okay guys, well, there's our two sumps. And I still have plenty of room under here. I can actually get my hand where I need to go. So I can put a little elbow right here. It'll turn down out. And then the other one will go over there. And it's really going to suck because I don't like bending like this. But, you know, I'm not going to go into too much detail because that's for part 2. So, with that being said, if you stayed this long, stay tuned for part 2. And if I've been boring, well, sorry. But, only other thing I got to say is, stay metal. Oh, by the way, that's the rescue kitty. If anybody lost a cat around here, let me know.
You're not getting her back.
Stay metal.